Menace to Society, Sheriff Todd Baxter. Menace to Society, District Attorney Sandra Doorley. My name is Chris Chichester. I've never committed a crime. This is called Freedom of Information Law. I'm demanding public information from you. The first one. There are 16 here. You're going to refuse to comply with every one. You have absolute and total contempt for the law. Parties switching Sandra Doorley because you're above the law. Parties switching Todd Baxter because you're above the law. The internal disciplinary record, the documentation for employees of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office of Sheriff Todd K. Baxter. That Sheriff Todd K. Baxter has reprimanded, terminated, or disciplined in employment at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. This is the payroll that I had demanded 50 plus times from the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. $131,485 Corey K. Brown, who is paid $1,100 less than Todd Baxter. Now, $131,485 Corey Brown. Do you understand this language, Corey? Tell your bald-headed party-switching boss, Todd Baxter, to comply with the law. The internal disciplinary record documentation of employees of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office of Sheriff Todd K. Baxter. That Sheriff Todd K. Baxter is reprimanded, terminated, disciplined, and employment at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. I read it again because it has to be read again. To be pounded into the brain of corruption. Freedom of Information Law. The internal disciplinary records of documentation for employees of the Monroe County District Attorney's Office of District Attorney Sandra Doorley. That District Attorney Sandra Doorley is disciplined, reprimanded, and terminated from employment at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. $96,513 Christopher Bokelman. And you have the greatest name in Western civilization, Christopher. Do you $96,513 Christopher Bokelman understand the law? Did you graduate from law school, Christopher? Because Christopher Bokelman, use your $96,513 salary and tell your party-switching diva, Sandra Doorley, to comply with this. The internal records and documentation for employees of the Monroe County District Attorney's Office of District Attorney Sandra Doorley. District Attorney Sandra Doorley is disciplined, reprimanded, or terminated from employment at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. Freedom of Information Law, February 8th. The named salaries of every public employee at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Todd Baxter. $104,572 Paul V. Chiminelli. Now, $104,572 six-figure cop, Paul V. Chiminelli. Paul, do you live in Monroe County? What are the residency requirements to be a Monroe County Sheriff's Office employee? Do you have to live in Monroe County? Do you understand that language, Paul? Paid six figures. You should be able to understand this. And so should the $132,000 bald-headed party-switching criminal corrupt boss, Todd Baxter. Send me the latest payroll. The reason why I demand the latest payroll from the Sheriff's Office and the District Attorney's Office, I want to look at the payroll that I have, see the employees that were provided raises. I'm going to go right to YouTube and put the raises on YouTube. The names and salaries of every public employee at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Todd K. Baxter. The names and salaries of every public employee at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office of District Attorney Sandra Doorley. This is a list of salaries at the District Attorney's Office. $117,798 Julie Hahn. $117,000. What do you do at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office? Julie Hahn to be paid $117,798. That is astounding. I really want to know. I'm not asking rhetorically. I demand to know what you were paid for that amount of money. I had to pause because it's just a little office in Rochester that has enormous power to destroy lives. So, what are you doing for that kind of money? So, $117,798 Julie Hahn. How did you arrive at that exact number? Did you go in there and demand $118,000? And then in a brutal negotiation with Sandra Doorley, did Sandra Doorley, your boss, the District Attorney Sandra Doorley, Say to you, $117,798, Juliana, she wasn't going to agree to your demand, and she brought you down to $117,798, that exact amount. Every salary on here is bizarre because not one is rounded off. 50,000, 55,000, 70,000, 75,000, 90,000, 95,000. Then when you get to the $100,000 employees, not one of them is rounded off either. What are you doing there at your Jonestown with these salaries? Freedom of Information Law. Total cost of overtime, time and a half, hour paid beyond base salaries calculated at the Monmouth County Sheriff's Office, Todd paid Baxter. Got your standard 40-hour work week. When the 41st hours work, how do you pay public employees? When I was a public employee in Albany for the majority leading governor, there was no overtime. There was nothing. Your salary was what you agreed upon, and that was it. If you worked an 80-hour week, your salary was your salary. When I worked on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. as U.S. Senate, U.S. House of Representatives staffer, salary was salary just like in Albany. So, total cost of overtime or time and a half at Monroe County Sheriff's Office. So on the six-figure cops here, do you, John M. DiMartino at $101,843, do you, John M. DiMartino, take home $101,843 if you work 60 hours? How's that work, John M. DiMartino? I don't know what you're thinking there at the sheriff's office. $0 Michael Radler. You, Michael Radler, pay $0. So that means John M. DiMartino is paid $101,843 more than you. What do you think about that, Michael Radler? What do you do with the Monroe County Sheriff's Office for $0? Are you paid private money to go in to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? Are you paid money from Sheriff Todd Baxter's campaign accounts to go in to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? This is what the controller of the state of New York must ask you. When I demand that the controller of the state of New York audit your office. So John M. DiMartino, $101,000 cops. So, Freedom of Information Law. Total cost of overtime, time and a half, well paid beyond base salaries calculated at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office of Sandra Doorley. Now, salaries at the District Attorney's Office. Do you $117,798 Matthew Schwartz? Matthew, is that your salary if you work a 41st hour? What are you paid if you work a 41st hour, Matthew Schwartz? At the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. Is $81,600 Anna Coughlin. Anna Coughlin, are you paid $81,600, $365, 24/7? Is that your salary? Anna, $81,600, or is your salary higher with the total cost of overtime, time and a half, or how paid beyond base salaries calculated at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office? Sandra Doorley, how do you pay your public employees? At the District Attorney's Office, Eliza Carmen. Eliza Carmen at the District Attorney's Office, $63,360. Are you, Eliza Carmen, being sexually harassed to Monroe County District Attorney's Office, Sandra Doorley? I hope you're not. The cost of taxpayers of Monroe County District Attorney Sandra Doorley expended taxpayer dollars set employment-related discrimination lawsuits failed to comply with Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Sandra Doorley, if you're asked by the United States Department of Justice, have you used taxpayer dollars because your employees are breaking the law? Because your employees are not in compliance with Title VII of the Civil Rights Act? What's your answer? The cost of taxpayers, Monroe County Sheriff Todd K. Baxter suspended taxpayer dollars set on employment-related discrimination lawsuits failed to comply with Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. $66,509 Lisa A. Sieben. Lisa A. Sieben are being sexually harassed. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Todd Baxter. I hope you're not. Lisa A. Sieben, $66,509. Do you know of anyone, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Todd Baxter, that's being sexually harassed? The answer is no. Good. The answer is yes. What are you doing about it? Todd Baxter. You ever been to Virginia? You know the geographic makeup of Virginia? Do you know what Langley, Virginia is? Because that's what a Central Intelligence Agency is. And I worked in Washington, D.C. I've been by there. CIA Director Mike Pompeo, just like his predecessors, buy a surveillance device, surveil terrorists, and you bought a surveillance device and it fixed it to 2025 Penfield Road to monitor I walk through the parking lot next to the building. This is the sick lunatic fringe by you. And it's easy for you to lie about it. Can't lie now because I've already seen the images. And you were lying about it. I was calling a surveillance device, and your fanatics, degenerates, and sociopaths like Michael Radley and Kathleen Miller calling Lindsey Barron from the Monroe County Office of Mental Health to come to my residence. I used the phrase surveillance device, and you bought one. And you're just calling her to humiliate me. So when I call you fanatics, degenerates, and sociopaths, when I label you the sick lunatic fringe, you buy a surveillance device, affixed to 2025 Penfield Road, after these parasites, Nairaj and Layla Kumar Shah, go to your office at 2041 Penfield Road about me walking through the parking lot, but not anybody else in Monroe County. Not anybody else walking through this parking lot. I'm the only New Yorker out of 17.9 million that'll be arrested for walking through this parking lot. Yeah, you heard that right. The cost of a surveillance device purchased with taxpayer dollars by Monroe County Sheriff Todd K. Baxter, fixed to a building in 2025 Penfield Road to monitor Christopher Chichester at 26 Sanders Farm Drive, walks through the parking lot next to the building. I'm walking through the parking lot for the 4,000th time. And Elliot Roth at this business called Consumer Insights is standing right here, and he says to me, you're going to be arrested. Elliot, why did you say to me you're going to be arrested? Because you know that they came and put that device in that building. Isn't that right, Elliot? That's what I will tell the United States Department of Justice, and I'll describe to the employees of the United States Department of Justice our conversation, Elliot. When you're looking at me with that Grim Reaper smile on your face, and you're taking pleasure in what they're about to do to me in a concoction of a crime when $67,000 Shannon Meyer falls down in my backyard dirt, which I've explained multiple times. That's it. That's it right there. What do you not understand about this? That's your camera. You bought it. If you can't see it clearly on here, and I'm trying to show it clearly in the light, because I know where the light is all the time when I'm here, then you can drive to the parking lot and look at it. This is what you bought, you bald-headed fascist stooge and criminal Todd Baxter, from me. That's what I'm going to tell the United States Department of Justice. Elliot, if this was already on your building and Todd Baxter accessed the technology, then tell me. But I will tell the employees of the United States Department of Justice that you bald-headed, party-switching fascist stooge Todd Baxter bought this camera, also called a surveillance device, and it fixed it to 2025 Penfield Road for me after this psychopath named Rashad, 15-year-old man living with his mother, went to your office. You don't laugh in the room, and neither does Shannon Meyer. Speaking about laughable, I'm going to try not to laugh when I read this. And there are times where I really have to not laugh because I'm disgusted and nauseated by you, Todd Baxter, and your employees and your Jonestown. And this is one of the times where I have been on here and I'm demanding if you spend taxpayer dollars for about what I'm about to read, and I'm trying not to laugh. So I'm going to try not to laugh and read this. And sometimes I have. I'm going to try not to laugh at you, Todd Baxter. The cost of taxpayers for photography session approved by Monroe County Sheriff Todd K. Baxter to photograph 10 public employees underwater in a pool. Did you spend taxpayer dollars to take this picture? These are your employees. Where was this picture taken? I swim at the YMCA pool in Penfield. That is a big pool. And you can take this picture in a pool of that size. Where was this picture taken? Did you spend taxpayer dollars? I'm told by one of your employees it's training exercise. If it's training exercise, it's done at the time of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. It's done at the time of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Taxpayer dollars are spent. And how do you explain this photograph that taxpayer dollars are spent when you run for re-election? How do you explain this when you're on for re-election? The cost of a hotel and plane ticket for Monroe County Sheriff employee Ryan Fisher attended the Super Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia on February 3rd, 2019 with his canine dog Lola. I didn't see him on the payroll. Perhaps I missed it, but I've been looking for his name. This is him. This is your employee. That's the logo for Mercedes-Benz Stadium. This is in Atlanta, Georgia. Why was Ryan Fisher in Atlanta, Georgia? Was it for one of these nauseating, disgusting, pathetic conferences where you sent Ryan Fisher to a conference for law enforcement employees, and there he is in Atlanta, Georgia at some table talking about his job back in Rochester, back in Monroe County at a conference. That's what I'm guessing, because in my mind, it had to be a conference. If it's not for a conference, then what is it? When I worked as a public employee in Albany, Washington, D.C., I would talk to my fellow public employees in my respective offices about what is with these conferences. And we would see people coming from other states or other geographic locations in New York, from Western New York, New York City, and Long Island for conferences in the Legislative Office Building, which is right next to the Capitol, or in Washington, D.C., in the 3 Senate buildings or the 3 House buildings and conferences. And a number of my coworkers would say to me exactly what I was thinking. What is with these conferences, these useless conferences? And I've seen these on television repeatedly, especially with cops going to conferences and you're whining about how tough the job is. And you don't know what it's like to be a police officer. All this pathetic whining. And you whine like that, Todd Baxter. And shut the hell up with that whining, you bald-headed stooge. So was Ryan Fisher in Atlanta, Georgia for a conference? If not, what was he there for? And you want people to know about it. Todd, I'm going to tell you how to avoid a political liability. When you send one of your employees out of state, don't tell anybody about it. Just let them go and have fun, go on their junk, and shut the hell up about it. And you talk too much. That's why I'm going to tell you to shut up. Again, you just talk too much. You don't know when to shut up. Some things are better left unsaid. You ever heard that cliche, Todd? Employ that. Some things are better left unsaid like this. This is YouTube's at 17 minutes. As we get ready to watch Super Bowl, we're grateful to the men and women signed to keep fans and players safe in Atlanta, including MCSO's Deputy Ryan Fisher, K9 Lowell. Deputy Fisher sent us a photo from Atlanta. Thank you both for your service. I just watched the Super Bowl conclude 2 hours ago. Was Ryan Fisher at the game? Was Ryan Fisher at this year's Super Bowl with his canine dog, Lola? Did Ryan Fisher watch the abomination that is Tom Brady, who has broken every rule in the NFL rule book, again win the Super Bowl? And here, Todd, baby. Here is the flag of Georgia until 2003. The stars and bars, the official symbol of a redneck, and it had to be changed. So here was Ryan Fisher in Atlanta, Georgia. When you got off the plane, how long did it take you to see the official symbol of a redneck? Huh? This usually goes with a bottle of Jack Daniels, too. So, and it had to be changed. And it looks nothing like the beautiful flag of New York. Here it is right here. These scales represent fairness here. That's the scales of fairness. And right there, I'm not going to read this whole thing. Justice is blind. That's why it says justice is. That's why this woman holding the scales of fairness has blindfold. Because justice is blind. Is justice blind, Sheriff Todd Baxter? Is justice blind, District Attorney Sandra Doorley? Freedom of Information Law. What are the physical training standards requirements of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Todd Baxter? Your employees are overweight, and you're overweight, Todd Baxter. When I was in your jail as an innocent man, I looked at your employees, and it's a disgrace. Not just by 5 pounds or 10 pounds, which is understandable. Tens of millions of Americans don't work out, don't exercise, don't eat right, and they have 5, 10, 15 pounds. And you can be that number of pounds overweight and conceal it well. And then there are people that cannot conceal it, and you can tell immediately looking at them in their Monroe County Sheriff Office uniforms that they're overweight, and that includes you, Todd Baxter. In the Army, there's a PT test. You have to do the push-ups, sit-ups, and a 2-mile run. A certain amount of push-ups, a certain amount of sit-ups, 2-mile run, a certain time you're flagged and you're not a soldier. You have no physical training requirements at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Todd Baxter. It's obvious. Tell your employees to get in shape, to protect themselves, and preserve their lives. They and your Monroe County Sheriff Todd K. Baxter rehired Michael Radler after his 20-plus year career with the Monroe County Sheriff's Office ended. Michael Radler at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. There's your salary right there. 0. Go down here from the first name, Jamie P. Brown at $54,839. The last name on this page, Jamie M. Wagner at $51,217. There's Todd Baxter at $132,599. Corey K. Brown, $131,485. Paul V. Ciminelli at $104,572. And your salary right above Paul V. Ciminelli is $0. Why? How does that explain when Todd Baxter runs the re-election? How does that explain to the control of New York? How does that explain to the United States Attorney for the Western District of New York? Who's at your jail, Todd Baxter? And you will refuse. The name charge of every inmate in Monroe County Sheriff Todd K. Baxter's Monroe County Jail from January 2018 to February 8, 2021. Who's at your jail? The name and charge is that simple, and you'll refuse, even though it's a public facility. And people are deposited in there innocent and guilty from pub proceeding. Does the prosecutor talk in court, Sandra Doorley? Not in Penfield Town Court before John P. Lomenzo Jr. as I'm delivered to Monroe County Jail. How am I delivered to Monroe County Jail when the prosecutor doesn't talk and you're refusing to tell me the name of this female employee at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office? Why, Sandra Doorley? This is your indictment as to why you're corrupt. I'm demanding a name, one name, and you're refusing. Documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester with John P. Lomenzo Jr. Penfield Town Court. What is the name of the prosecutor, Sandra Doorley? What is not to understand about that? Tell me her name, you disgusting diva. Documentation for the case for Christopher Chichester before Paula Metzer in Penfield Town Court. What is the name of the prosecutor, Sandra Doorley? This 5'2" three-piece suit boy leaves his podium, walks over to bald-headed wig-wearing Paula Metzer, gives her a piece of paper. That delivers me to Livingston County Jail. What am I doing in Livingston County? What's his name? Tell me his name, you disgusting diva. If you're going to do Todd Baxter, Sandra Doorley, he's refused to comply with every one. Every single one. Every single employee at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, every single employee at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office can walk to his parking lot next to 26 Hammers Farm Drive and not be arrested. Why? I'm walking through the parking lot one day and this psychopath named Raj Shah, 50-year-old man living with his 70-year-old mother, screaming at me. I don't know what that is. I try to talk to the guy. He's still screaming. I walk away. I give him the official finger of Brooklyn, New York. I tell him to fuck off, and that's when you went and put that camera on that building that I just showed. There's 2 of my neighbors walk through the parking lot. How come they're not arrested? Todd Baxter. Walk through the parking lot is the accusatory instrument for me. Did you know that, Todd Baxter? That's it. Todd Baxter. Shannon Meyer. It's 2 of my neighbors. I have photograph after photograph of people walking through this parking lot. After the fireworks at Harris Warren Park, 200 people walked through that parking lot in a 15-minute period in 2019. Before the fireworks, Penfield High School band students will walk through the parking lot. If it's a crime to walk through that parking lot, why don't you arrest a Penfield High School band student? What would the mothers and fathers at Penfield High School think if you had a Penfield High School band student in handcuffs for walking through that parking lot, Todd Baxter? What would they think about that? Can you imagine, Todd Baxter, the rage that would descend upon your bald head if there's a Penfield High School band student holding a saxophone or a clarinet and your fanatics, degenerates, and sociopaths descended on that Penfield High School band student? Because the accusatory instrument, that the defendant, I'm a defendant on a piece of paper. On the above date and location of 1440 hours to knowingly enter or remain unlawfully upon the premises of 2041 Penfield Road, Penfield, New York, by walking through the parking lot after being told by certified mail and by police that he's not on the property. Fire Shannon Meyer. This is disgusting, a disgrace, a joke. She should park her ass right here and write one of these. 5 people a day, 10 people a day, 15 people a day. It depends on the time of year. It depends on the weather and how many people walk through this parking lot. Why do you employ this hack? The blue wall of Todd Baxter employs Shannon Meyer. How is it a crime, Todd Baxter, to walk outside, stand right here, tell a guy his tracks from Broccoli Tree and Long Cannon, no one owns Atlanta, walk back in my residence? How's that a crime? I go to the Mountain Funk TLB Fitness. I'm in the back of the gym. Up walks to me Jim Psychopath Jermaine Bedman. I tell him I'll be 30 seconds. He stands over me, punches down my head, snaps back violently. Andrew Reale arrives. He knows me because of that parking lot. There's Andrew Reale, he's $79,000 salary. He tells me to wait in the backseat of his vehicle as he coaches Jermaine Benman what to say. He tells Jermaine Benman what to say. Benman walks around to the side of the vehicle, and Jermaine Benman says to me, I want to press charges against you. Those 7 warrants were charged with harassment second. How many times do I have to ask you this question, Todd Baxter? What's the name of the human being I'm harassing? Was there somebody next to me in the backseat of Andrew Reale's police vehicle? Why do you employ Shannon Meyer and Andrew Reale in the concoction of crimes for me? And why do you employ $85,000 Don Benedetto? Because on August 30th, this is the real lunatic fringe. This is the lunatic fringe. This is the one that enrages me the most. I leave my residence on August 30th. Don Benedetto walked onto the private property of my neighbor across the street from Sanders Farm Drive on August 30th, waiting for me to come outside because of what I'm doing to you on YouTube and what I'm saying about you. In the exercise of my First Amendment right, I walk alongside my resident. He comes running at me with another whack job. They're running at me from the private property of my neighbor. I run alongside these trees over here on this side. I go up my back porch. He grabs my arm. The hammer I just grabbed that I used to fix my bicycle goes up. I pull away. I run back through the sliding glass door. He says I swung a hammer. This is on the body camera footage that I was shown by my public defender. Doesn't matter when the body camera footage goes on. That doesn't matter. It matters what happens on the back porch. He's lying about me swinging a hammer at him. You're waiting on the private property of my neighbor. You're running at me through the pitch black alongside these trees. He grabs my arm as I'm running away, going up my back porch, and he lied and said I swung a hammer. If I wanted to swing a hammer at him, I would have brought it down on his head, cracked it upon his head, and he would have been unconscious on my back porch. I've never swung a hammer at anybody. I've never engaged in any type of violence. What he's doing is concocting a felony to me to deliver me to jail, is what he's doing. What are they doing here, and what are their names? There was 5 of them. They're walking outside, stalking me on 26 Sanders Farm Drive. 5 Monroe County Sheriff Office employees that work for bald-headed party-switching criminal Todd Baxter are stalking me, Christopher Chichester, on August 30th, 2020, waiting for me to come outside and concoct a felony for me as I come outside on my back porch. I'm running back into my residence. Sick lunatic fringe, disgusting hack. So, sick lunatic fringe. Lee LaRoe, Todd Baxter, Sandra Doorley. This is not a search warrant. I've said this repeatedly now. You typed this Paula Metzler in Penfield Town Court, handed this to Lee LaRoe. She gets in here, tears my residence apart, and leaves my Chromebook. What are you doing with my Chromebook, Lee LaRoe? Because you're going to the search history and you're reading my emails to concoct a crime for me. This is not a search warrant. This doesn't pass the laugh test. This is a joke. You typed this Paula Metzler in Penfield Town Court. That's what I'm going to tell the employees at the United States Department of Justice. And they will easily conclude the minute they look at this that this is not a search warrant because it doesn't have an identifying marker on it. And since you are corrupt to your eyeballs, Paula Metzler, you don't even know what's going on there underneath that pathetic wig. To any deputy sheriff of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, really? How'd you come up with that language, Paula Metzler? To any deputy sheriff? How many deputy sheriffs are there? 10, 20, 30? And any other police officer in the state of New York, really. Any police officer from Montauk, New York to Buffalo can come in here. Proof by affidavit, where is it? I've said this repeatedly. Where's the proof by affidavit that gets you in here with your blue gloves? You tore my residence apart, Lee LaRoe. There is no affidavit. That's one. I lived in Webster with my ex-girlfriend, Laura Riley. We decided we wanted to adopt a dog and go to Lollipop Farm Humane Society, and we were interviewed. When we were at Lollipop, one of the questions we were asked is, have you been arrested? Have you ever committed a crime? And Laura and I both said we had not been arrested. We have never committed a crime, and I have never committed a crime despite this lunatic fringe assault in my life. And speaking of lunatic fringe and why I use that language, we went to the cages, and there was a Shih Tzu looking up at us. It's just a perfect moment. If you own dogs at the sheriff's office, the district attorney's office, and you know one undeniable fact of owning a dog is that you love your dog, and you love your dog as much as your family member. Your dog brings unrelenting joy to your life constantly. You want to be around your dog. When you're driving home from a day at work, you know you're going to see your dog. You hardly wait to see your dog and pet your dog. And your dog's going to have the same love for you that you have for your dog. People love their dogs so much in the United States of America, they let their dogs sleep in the same bed. People love their dogs so much in the United States of America that they buy them gifts just like they would their family members. People love their dogs so much in the United States of America that they talk to the dogs just like they talk to their friends and family members and tell the dogs how much they love their dogs. And that's the way it's supposed to be in the United States of America with your dog. So we adopted a Shih Tzu, and all I'm doing is walking my dog. One day alongside here, I take him alongside here, and I hear this screaming. This is who you with these parasites. This is Nairaj and Layla Kumar Shah. This is Shannon Myers with Todd Baxter. Sandra Doorley, you own a dog? What would you think if Todd Baxter, Sandra Doorley, showed up at your residence demanding your dog, and all you're doing, Madam District Attorney, is just walking your dog the same way you have every day for 7 years and 4,000 times? What would you think about that, Perry Duckles? You own a dog, Perry? What would you think? There you are, Perry Duckles. After you counted your $129,000 salary, you're walking your dog, Perry, every day for 7 years and 4,000 times, and there's bald-headed Todd Baxter at your door, Perry. Give us your dog. You think that's a lunatic fringe, wouldn't you, Perry? Well, they're screaming from the Shaw law firm. Right here. I question if it's even a firm, because who the hell would want to be their clients? See that distance? I don't know what that is. Screaming at me. I bring my little guy in and walk over. They refuse to talk to me. They already called the sheriff's office. I hear pounding on my door that I'm so familiar with. Look at that YouTube called Hatred, because they cut loose at the front door. There they are, at my door. 2 Monroe County Sheriff's Animal Control with a 10-foot pole in his hand, demanding my little guy. His name is Alex. And when I worked on Capitol Hill's United States Senate staff, where I worked with a man named Alex, I'm not going to name my dog after someone I used to work with. So I named it after former WBA lightweight champion Ray Mancini, otherwise known as Boom Boom, and that's his name. And there they are, 2 Monroe County Sheriff's Office. You're psychopaths, Todd Baxter. You're fanatics, degenerates, a sociopath based on one phone call or at my residence demanding my dog. So when I'm using language and calling you a psychopath and labeling your employees accurately as fanatics, degenerates, and sociopaths, this is why. Why don't you just pick up the phone and call me and say, well, we got a complaint from this Layla Kumar and Nairaj Shah, so let's talk about that. This is why people hate the police. You do not know why people hate the police. I'm going to tell you why. Here you are showing up at my residence, demand my dog because you want to exercise power over an innocent citizen, and that's why people hate the police. And by the way, Todd, when you're fanatics, degenerates, and sociopaths, when these 2 disgusting hacks are at my front door demanding my dog, they're not out doing the job and policing the roads and answering real calls with real crimes. And this is vicious confrontation. I said, you have to kill me to take my little guy from me. I slammed the door in their faces. I went back to his dog bed and I picked him up. I put him on my shoulder. I said, nobody's ever going to take you from me. And he was shaking, and I had to keep it together emotionally because I could feel that lump in my throat, which I've had numerous times because you're psychopaths coming here. And there was one time I was on YouTube when you pounded on a door and I couldn't keep it in. I couldn't control it anymore. And you did that to me. I'm not an emotional person where I lose control of myself and snap of fingers or watching some little romantic TV movie on TV. You know, I don't cry at the drop of a hat. I could not keep it in that one time. I could not hold it in, and you did that to me. Your employees screamed my name. What's the name of that one psychopath? You can see it on that YouTube called Hatred. That one guy in particular is screaming my name. I had multiple neighbors come over here and say, what is going on? That guy was screaming your name, pounding on my door. I could not keep it in, and you did that to me that day, you bald-headed criminal. You disgusting, vile, sick psychopath, Todd Baxter, with your Jonestown fanatics out there screaming my name and pounding on my door. So, I'm going to demand your financial disclosure. I'm going to be on here soon in the next 48 hours. The financial disclosure statement for Sheriff Todd K. Baxter for calendar year 2019. The financial disclosure statement for District Attorney Sandra Doorley for calendar year 2019. I'm writing that on YouTube right now. So I'm telling you what I'm going to do. I haven't written that yet. So I have notes that I look at. So I know what to say. So I'm going to demand your financial disclosure. What you're going to do is refuse, as your YouTube's at 34 minutes. So Todd Baxter, you need to discipline yourself in your language. How do you possibly say, I have a passion for jails? How does that language exit your mouth? Because what you're confessing is you love suffering. How do you possibly say, I have a passion for jails? Something radically wrong with you, Todd Baxter. A hallmark feature of psychopath disorder is that they don't get bothered by much of anything. That's exactly you at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office and Monroe County District Attorney's Office. A hallmark feature of psychopath disorder is that they don't get bothered by much of anything, and that includes when you're concocting crimes for an innocent citizen, and that innocent citizen is me. My name is Christopher Chichester. I have never committed a crime.